I am a 1 in 4. I've had 2 miscarriages. One in 2011 when I was 10 weeks gone and I lost my first baby. And then my second miscarriage happened, funnily enough, 2 years ago tomorrow, and I was 8 weeks. Both of which were classed as miscarriages, and I didn't find out until my routine 12-week scan. This is weird because I've just sat down thinking, what do I say, and now I've come to video and I still don't know what to say. So apologies, this could take a while. I don't know really where to start. However, I just want to say thank you all so much for all your support this week, especially this week being Baby Loss Awareness Week. Bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every single message and comment that I have on my post, and I can't thank you all guys enough. But moving on. Yeah, so my first pregnancy was a little bit of a shock, and but we were totally made up. Me and Luke were pretty excited at the fact that we were going to be parents, and yeah, I thought I had a good pregnancy. However, I didn't really feel pregnant, and it really didn't feel real at all. And I kind of obviously I was pregnant, but I didn't really feel any different. However, I did get quite a few on and off cramps about 7-8 weeks, and I thought, oh my god, is this normal? Yes, it was just a baby growing inside me, and it was doing its best to grow and grow, but it was giving me a bit of grief. So but that's part and parcel of being pregnant, I suppose. And yeah, we were all really happy, and family was happy. We actually announced it about 7-8 weeks, which was fairly early, but it was at a family picnic, and we just felt the time was right. And looking back, I really wish I hadn't have told everyone that early on in that pregnancy. But we did, and everyone in the family were completely made up for us. And yeah, so we went to our 12-week routine scan. I was absolutely crapping my pants, and I didn't know what to expect. I had googled like 12-week scan photos, kind of like having an image in my head about how I would see my baby on the monitor, and I couldn't wait to see that tiny little human growing inside me. But I was absolutely nervous, and I couldn't stop shaking in the waiting room prior to going in. Luke did unbelievably well to calm my nerves. I kept jabbering on like I do when I'm nervous, like I'm doing now, because it is quite a nerve-wracking thing talking about this thing called miscarriage. So we went into the scan room, and I laid on the bed, and I was supposed to be about 12 weeks at that point. And the woman was unbelievably kind and friendly, and, you know, put me at ease straight away. And she gave me the news that no woman or man wants to hear. And yeah, she said, I'm really sorry, I can't find a heartbeat. And it's just saying those, it's giving me a bit of a weird feeling in my stomach right now. I don't want to get upset or emotional on this video, because I'm going to try and keep it together if I can. And I completely broke down when she told me, and I didn't realise how common it was until after it happened. After doing so much research into it, you know, I found out my mum had a miscarriage before she had me. Luke's mum had a miscarriage before having him. I just didn't realise how common it was, and I felt shit. And I would never say I felt lonely, because I didn't. And I had my friends and my family around. I didn't really have many friends, to be honest with you. But and everyone, there was always someone that we knew that knew someone who had a miscarriage. And you know, I didn't talk about it for quite some time afterwards, and the feeling that I had was, why me? Why the hell has it happened to me? I'm supposed to be religious. I'm Catholic, and I question my faith in God, and I didn't believe in him. So yeah, I questioned my faith, and I'll always remember my scan because it was 3 days before my birthday. And yeah, so going back to the actual day, we got moved to a side room where a doctor was chatting to us about options, and he gave me the options of having the D&C, taking a tablet, and then letting it just happen. I have no regrets in life at all, because everything happens for a reason, and you know, your past defines you. But I really kind of wish I hadn't have let nature take its course, because a week later it happened, and we were in Brighton, and we were walking down the seafront, and it started. I was losing my baby. I was losing my baby, and I didn't have any control. And it was in public, and I didn't want it to be in public, because we'd just seen Lee Evans the night before at the Brighton Centre, and we couldn't go anywhere, so we literally dashed into the car. I was crying, tears were streaming down my face, and we got in the car and we drove, and we passed the Sainsbury's, and I said, look, let's just go into Sainsbury's, because I had to get into a toilet, because I was losing quite a lot of blood at this stage. And then from then on, it kind of like escalated really, really quickly, and an ambulance came, paramedics took really good care of me, took me to Worthing Hospital, and yeah, I was in for 2.5 days. So yeah, I had to have a catheter in my right hand. My mum was called, and she came down, because you know, in times like those, and in times of need, you really want your mum. And yeah, I really needed my mum, and she came down, and I was trying to be normal, I was trying to keep it together, but I just couldn't. Inside me, it was so traumatic, and I was cramping like mad, and I was still losing quite a lot of blood and clots, and it wasn't a nice experience at all. It was like I said, it was a traumatic experience that I never wish upon anyone else in this world. So it happened on a Saturday. I was taken in and stayed overnight for 2 nights, the first night of which I had to have my blood pressure checked every hour, so I literally didn't get any sleep at all. I was nil by mouth for a day. Let's just say, when I came out of that hospital, the first thing I ate was a McDonald's. And yeah, I had a D&C on the Monday morning, and the Monday afternoon I came out. Oh, I was put under, and yeah, it is what it is, and they did what they did. So I came home, recovered. I think I actually went back to work a few days later, which was really strange for me, but I just wanted to kind of like get back to normal. Telling friends and family that we had lost the baby was really, really hard for me, and my mum anyway was she felt like she couldn't do anything for me, because what can you do when your daughter is having a miscarriage? You can't do anything at all, apart from just say, I'm here for you. She understood completely because she's been in my position, and yeah, so because she had experienced it herself, it made it a lot easier for me to speak to her. And even now, when I speak to her now, you know, I have no qualms in talking about how I felt, and she completely gets it, completely gets it. And even Luke's mum as well, you know, she's had one, and I'm not afraid to talk about it to her because she's been through that herself. So I'm gonna skip a little bit, and I'm gonna go on and to tell you about my second miscarriage. So 2014, found out in July, and it was my period was due on a Friday, and I found out on the Tuesday, and yeah, I wanted to do it early because I just had an inkling, and it was positive. Saw those 2 lines. My first initial thought was, effing hell. I don't want this happening again. And I was really quite scared. And yeah, so I was 8 weeks when I lost this baby, and I was on holiday in Portugal at that time, and I was so wary of the sun, what I was eating. I was trying to get good care of myself. I literally did everything by the book. No soft cheeses, no alcohol, not that I drink a lot anyway. You know, I took really good care of myself, and I took my vitamins. Same again happened. Went to the scan. I had, which was the one thing that was different from my first one is that up until my scan, my second pregnancy, my symptoms were completely still there. I felt more pregnant that time, and as much as I was nervous, I was a bit more positive about it, and I thought, look, this is fine, you know, it is what it is, and we'll just see how it goes. And when I saw the baby on the screen, I thought, that's not a 12-week-old baby. I had an internal, and that's when she told me again, no heartbeat. But this time, I was feeling a lot more hurt, anger. I was very emotional. My hormones were all over the place. My option was not to let it take its course, and I opted for the D&C, and I booked it in for 6 days later. So I had the D&C, and yeah, that time I wasn't put under, and it was just local, and well, I couldn't keep still, legs akimbo and everything. I had Luke one side of me, the healthcare assistant next. I was trying to talk normally, but I was chatting random crap, and that was just my way of dealing with that operation at that given time. I honestly thought it would never happen to me again, and even now, when I talk about it, it's like it was yesterday, because it's such a big thing that happens in your life. You're never ever going to forget it. And we had nicknames for our little babies, and our first one was nicknamed Boo. I don't know where that came from. And then the second one was Dakota, as it kind of relates to where we live in a weird, silly way. And yeah, I'll always remember the dates. I will never remember the dates of when I actually physically lost my baby, but I'll remember the dates of the scan. And tomorrow, 2 years ago, was the last time I saw my little baby, and yeah, it was really, really hard. It was especially hard for me for my second pregnancy, as my sister was pregnant at the same time as me, which is really bizarre because I remember being at her baby shower for my nephew, and I was pregnant then. I remember I was on squash all day because I kept myself hydrated. That was one thing I was trying to do in my pregnancy, was keep myself hydrated. And when I lost that baby, and my sister was carrying my nephew, I found it really, really hard. And, you know, my sister knows what I went through and how I felt, and she understands. And, you know, at the end of the day, then my niece and nephew, that, you know, she's now got a new baby in her family, and it has been hard. Don't get me wrong, it's been bloody hard, because I do get jealous sometimes, and everywhere I go, I'd see pregnant women about. I felt jealous, and I just kept saying to me, I kept saying to myself, why me? I should be having my babies. I should have my children, or a child, because whether or not I would have had my first, I maybe wouldn't have had my second. But I honestly thought it would never happen to me again. Luke's been an absolute diamond. You know, I couldn't ask for a better husband. He's so supportive, and he always listens to me. I don't talk about it a lot to him now, but he knows. He knows how I feel, and he doesn't want to keep being reminded about what happened. Whereas me, I'm quite open, and I'm not afraid to talk about what I went through. I will always think, what if? I did wonder why it happened to me, because I did everything by the book. I thought I was being punished. I don't know. I had so many emotions kind of like locked inside me. I didn't really know how to feel, because I felt really, really empty. As soon as I had my operation and I knew it was final, and especially having my next period after I finished, it was like, oh, well, this is just, that's it. I felt numb, I felt empty, and I just wish I had met my babies, and I always think about them. I'm sorry. Until you lose a baby yourself, you never ever know what the pain feels like for someone who has lost a child. And sometimes I think, I was in the early stages of pregnancy. I can't imagine for someone who lost a baby through stillbirth, and they would have to, they would carry full term and give birth to a dead baby. I can't help but think, I feel grateful that I didn't get to that stage. But to me, I still lost my babies, and sometimes I think there are worse off people than me, and that's horrible to say, but it happens. And I sometimes don't cope at all. I honestly didn't think I would cry today, but talking about it has just brought everything back. But for me, talking is therapy, and I want to be able to let others know that they shouldn't feel alone. Talk about how you feel. Like I said, it's therapy for me, and just tell people, don't leave your feelings locked up inside you, because you'll only get yourself into a deep hole you'll never get out of, and you should never feel ashamed. You are a mummy, you have a child, whether it is up in heaven or on earth, you have a child, and that's how I need to think right now. And Luke is a dad of 2. I don't care what anyone else says, he is a dad of 2. You know, they were just too beautiful for earth, and they're still in our hearts. They'll never go away. And I think until we have a baby of our own, physically in my arms, that my feelings will never ever go away. It does get easier over time. I mean, obviously it's been 5 years since my first, and it does get easier, I promise you, but they will never go away. You'll never forget them, and they are still a piece of your heart. They're a part of your life, and you should always remember them. And tonight I'm going to be lighting my candle at 7 o'clock for an hour, for the wave of light, for the miscarriage awareness. And yeah, I urge you guys, if you have had miscarriages, just speak out. When and if, okay, when I get pregnant next, at the moment, just for you guys, we're not trying at the moment. I'm trying to get myself healthy, and that's my priority right now. But when I do get pregnant next, I'm going to be shit scared. Excuse my language, but I will be shit scared. And I know of people who have had 1 or 2 miscarriages and they've had completely healthy babies afterwards. So I cannot ever lose any hope. I mean, I've got a tattoo on my arm that says "Never lose hope." You probably can't see it very well, but that I had that done nearly 2 years ago, and I can't lose hope. I can't give up. I've got to be positive, and one day I will have my rainbow baby in my arms, and he or she is going to be loved. I hope I haven't been too TMI or anything. I don't think I have, but that's my experiences, and I've never really told you about how it happened and where it happened. Yeah, so that's it really. But I just want to raise awareness and just make you guys feel that you're less alone, and you know, it's okay not to be okay. It is fine. I still have bad days. Oh my god, I still have bad days, but I deal with it. Life goes on, and you have got to be positive. And if you're not positive, you're never ever going to get in your mindset that you are going to have a baby of your own.